single.
I know, dude.
And then we can review it and tear it the fuck apart.
I saw a video of Sia showing her writing process.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable, her just riffing like melodies out over piano chords.
She's super talented.
I was like, what the heck?
What the heck?
Dude.
So you weren't like
I was like
super into it.
Shut the front door.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's frog and bullfish, dude.
Yeah. So welcome to the middle of the conversation. That's the name of this podcast. Middle of the conversation. That's actually not a bad idea.
It could be kind of fun.
So welcome to the Music Period podcast presented by Boot Camp Media. I'm Dave. That's Sam. This is the podcast where we pick an album and review it and tell you if it's good or not.
Analyze,
and that's our new opinion.
Sometimes I feel like also we're just kind of trying to expose some stuff that we like.
Yeah, that was my next point. Sometimes because there's not a lot of new music coming out. Mm-hmm. It's all singles. It's all videos. It's all
quarantine albums.
Just not very good.
Yeah.
Nothing that really piques our interest.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to do a legacy review where we go back. We each pick an album for each other. I'm re-explaining it because we haven't done it in a while.
It has been a while.
Yes. So these are our legacy reviews.
And every now and again, we're both going to pick an album that's just real garbage to do a legacy review about.
And then try to fool the other person?
Right.
That's not a bad idea. Well, if we know it's coming, we're going to be able to pick it out.
Yeah. Also, we both throw each other curveballs with what our tastes are.
Yeah.
Because, like, I do genuinely listen probably twice a month to a Backstreet Boys playlist.
Really?
Yes. And so if I went to you and I was like, hey, I want to do fucking Self-Titled by the Backstreet Boys.
We should do it.
There's part of you that would probably go, yeah, of course you do. You know what I mean?
Right. That would be fun to do, though.
It would be fun.
Because it would probably turn into maybe not an argument, but at least a healthy back and forth.
Healthy. That's the key word.
Right.
There would be no hate, no vitriol. Spit would be completely contained in our mouths. There would be no yelling. We would not be peeking the mics. It would be fine.
So our episode today is a legacy review that I picked for Sam.
Yep.
Now, this was something that I probably should have done first to get it out of the way. But since I didn't, I was hesitant to do it at all.
Really?
Because this is my favorite hip-hop album of all time.
Well, we've talked about this before. Showing somebody an album that you hold in such high regard makes you feel very vulnerable.
Yes.
All of a sudden, your opinion is at stake.
Especially where you are not a hip-hop head.
Right.
You're a fan. You can respect hip-hop. You can respect good hip-hop. But you're also on the side of liking fun hip-hop.
Right.
You
yeah.
know?
There's like a specific purpose for it for me.
Right.
And the way that I listen to it, and I like don't have control over this. It's just my brain automatically defaults into hearing the vocals as an instrument, a rhythmic instrument.
That makes sense.
And so a lot of it's just, it's almost 50-50 production and then flow.
And when it's a good artist, it's really easy to lose yourself in their voice being an instrument. That's like the sign of a rapper with good flow.
Right.
Like, Jadakiss was really well known for that. His flow is so good that he was just another instrument. And it's, before him, this guy here, the album is, you already saw the fucking title when you press play, is Illmatic by Nas. It was his debut album, came out in 1994, which was an unbelievable year for hip-hop. It's also when Ready to Die came out, Enter the 36 Chambers, and countless others. Doggy Style, I'm pretty sure, came out in 94. This here, I might as well just get out of the way first, is the pinnacle of hip-hop.
And, I have we'll talk about this as we get into it, but this hip-hop is kind of a glaring gap in knowledge for me when it comes to music, because I do kind of pride myself in being able to like appreciate things on a pretty good level, especially across multiple genres. But for some reason, the lyrical side of hip-hop, which should be a pretty fundamental aspect of why you become a hip-hop head,
right,
has just never really clicked with me.
It really throws it. So, we're both adults now, but this 6-year gap of age that we do have
Mm-hmm.
is really, really noticeable when we talk about hip hop.
And when we stand next to each other.
Motherfucker. So so even just 83 to 89, like when this album came out, I was 11. Now I didn't appreciate it then. I didn't, I was probably 13, 14 when I actually started to appreciate this album, but you would have been 5.
Right. And so
7, 8. So you're not listening to lyrics. Hip hop started changing. If you're 11 in the year 2000, that is a huge turning point in hip hop.
And 6 years at that point in your life can mean a lot in the aspect of like, so if I'm 14 years old, it's not crazy for me to really appreciate an album from 6 years before that. But
Right.
if I'm 9,
Right.
I'm
How could you have appreciated Illmatic?
right.
At the
It would
same time
it would take a certain amount of time to get to a point where I could appreciate it, and then that's getting backfilled with other albums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you went a different direction. You started playing guitar. You started playing instruments. Why would you go back to Illmatic? It totally makes sense.
Right.
And especially all the hip hop albums, because this is the golden age right here. Any person my age, maybe a little younger, probably a little older, listens to this era of hip hop and says, well, this was it.
Yeah.
This was it. Pac was big. Biggie was big. Nas, Jay-Z back when he was actually good.
Right.
That's not going to be a popular statement, but
I've agreed with people when they say that, but I have a different understanding of it now.
yeah.
Actually having given it the attention that it needed.
Like someday we'll do Ready to Die. Someday we'll do 36 Chambers, because you've probably never deep dived on those albums. Yeah. I mean, Juicy.
Right.
And fucking probably
But realistically,
Mystery of Chef's Boxing.
I don't really know the lyrical content.
Right.
I know it at a face value. I recognize the hook. I recognize the beat. That's it. And that's something I learned in this experience. Is I need to sit down with the lyric sheet and follow along.
Which you said to me this morning, that's what you did with this album.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever been happier.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to us doing a podcast. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was an awesome listen.
Yeah.
I listened to it a handful of times before I sat down with the lyrics, and it didn't hit like it did when I was reading along with it.
Yeah.
Also, the headphone thing.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean, it almost felt like I had learned a different language and I was understanding it on a deeper level. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden the storytelling aspect becomes very clear, and then you start to pair up like the aesthetics and the things that you like about the flow, and then you add on top of that, okay, so he's got really good wordplay, and also it's cohesive, and also somehow I'm relating to some of these things too, which
like
means
memory
that
lane and respect.
it's like you can appeal
wild.
universally, which is like the hardest thing to do as a songwriter.
And the craziest thing is, he was a fucking teenager when he
that's
made this
fucking
album.
wild.
He started making this album when he was 17 years old.
God.
And to have a song like Memory Lane or like One Love, where he's penning a fucking letter to his friend in jail.
Right. I mean,
What?
there would be no Stan without that fucking song.
No, absolutely not. There would be no Eminem without this album.
Yeah.
And I know that I've never heard anyone say that, but there are lines that he says, like, I almost said one that I cannot say at all, but just almost like little shock value rhymes that weren't really
like
present in hip hop at this time.
There's a line in that song where he says something about how he's talking about a dude taking over his block.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he's like, what are you going to do about it? Can you believe that shit? What are you going to do about that?
Right.
Like, and it was an experience. And because that's a whole world I don't know anything about.
Like how, like, you're a fan of The Wire, right?
Yeah.
The Wire is one of the best shows of all time. It just is.
Yep.
That is what this album is. It is perfectly constructed to make you feel like you're there.
And it's not too long. It's easy, digestible.
39 minutes, 10 tracks.
But the thing is, like, it's not 39 minutes is not a long album.
No.
But
This would be an EP today.
But at the same time, there's so much packed into those 39 minutes that it's like it couldn't have been any longer.
Punches you right in the face.
Yeah.
You said it the other day, obviously off air, that you just felt like you were in the cypher with Nas.
Yeah.
And then I said, and I've always felt this way, from the moment the first track starts, I feel like I'm walking down into the subway in New York, and it's grimy, it's dirty, but it's every day.
Yep.
And you're just, you see what it even does to my voice. It's every day, and it's
all of a sudden you're wearing like an oversized fucking puffy jacket, and it's 1995, and you're fucking, yeah, dude. I mean, ever since when you said that, and then I listened to it through my headphones, there were moments where, once I was reminiscing or like writing my notes, I was thinking like, man, was I hearing like the rumble of the train in the beat, or was that just me placing it in there mentally?
There is a little bit of a rumble in that first track.
It's cool, dude.
So yeah, let's dig into the first track. It's an intro. It's not a song.
Yep.
It comes in. There's a sample voiceover that says, "Stop fucking around and be a man." And again, at 17, 18 years old, when he was recording this album, he already has to think about stop fucking around and be a man.
And that comes clear.
He's probably been running a block since he was 11 or 12.
He quickly gets to that when he's talking about like what his life is like, you know?
Yeah. But the cool thing is it goes into this really cool beat. And one of my best friends in the world is a massive Wu-Tang head. And I remember the first time I ever played him this album, because he was really, really picky about his hip-hop. And for some reason, this intro hit him. And the beat kicked in. He goes, "Holy shit, is this by RZA?" And I was like, kind of has that little bit of a feel to it. It's not, but it does have that feel. And that always kind of stuck with me. I was like, yeah, kicking in with that.
Yeah, there's something really specific about this era's instrumentation.
Yeah.
It's dry. It's it always feels like there's tape hiss. It always feels like I'm watching it like on an old camcorder. You know what I mean? Like there's some grainy image. Yeah. It always has this like early technology vibe to it. Yeah. The bass is never super big like it is today, but it just lets the other shit shine.
Yeah, it's not reliant on, okay, this has to be a banger.
Right. Where's the 808?
Right.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about the intro, and I know I'm talking about the intro a lot here, but it's basically him talking with two of his friends. And the cool thing about this is one friend, who happens to be AZ, who features in track 3.
I don't know him.
Yeah, he was like, incredibly talented rapper who never really broke out on his own. He kind of rode Nas's coattails. He's JID.
Okay.
He's J. Cole's JID, Nas's Jay-Z, pretty much. So AZ is talking about money. He's like, yo, put them grants over there. The Washingtons go to wifey. You know how that. He's talking about money. He's talking about drinking Hennessy with no chaser. He's talking about we want the mansions, we want the cars. He's talking about the money side. And his other friend, yo, what's up with this shit on the radio, man? What's up? You got to keep it real. So it's the clash.
It's the devil and the angel on the shoulder.
Perfect. His friend saying, we got to get that money. And the other one's like, you got to keep it fucking real.
Which is like what every teenager goes through as they transition into adulthood, is like, what road are you going to go down? Right. Are you going to figure your shit out, or are you going to fucking...
A bullshit intro that's maybe a minute long.
Right.
Perfectly sums up Nas's fucking 30-year career.
I didn't even take notes for the intro. I just kind of like let it be the way that it fades into the first track. I have heard this
album probably 500,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've been able to pick this thing apart a lot. Yeah, it's just a very, very cool thing that unless you're here looking for it, you're not going to hear it in the intro.
Yeah.
But it is definitely an angel-devil shoulder type
dichotomy.
Thing. Yeah. Track 2.
Man, New York State of Mind.
Come on.
So like everyone knows that term.
Yep.
Alicia Keys and Jay-Z did their version.
Sure. I always think of Sinatra.
I was going to say there's a plethora of people that have used that same terminology in music. And I always knew that there was like a hip hop tie to it, but I never realized, once again, this is just my glaring gap in knowledge, that it was directly tied to this album.
How many times during this album you were like, oh, that's where that came from?
So many times.
It's so influential in so many ways.
Yeah.
People sampled this album all the time.
And the samples on the album were also, I was like, damn, that's a fucking cool ass sample.
Yeah.
This song, DJ Premier Beat, he's incredible.
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But this is the song where when I was taking my notes, I was almost feeling like I was hearing the ambient city noise in the background of the beat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
it puts you in a New York state of mind.
It honestly does. And there's like a couple lines that were really good.
Oh my God.
Right at the beginning, he says, Rappers, I monkey flip them with the funky rhythm. I be kicking, musician, inflicting composition. And I was like, that's just backflips on the beat, dude.
It's insane.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And there's this like understated confidence that he has in the way that he like says the rhyme that for me, if I'm not reading along with it, I don't realize how hard he's murdering.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's almost effortless.
It's understated. It's like there's almost like everything's lowercase, no exclamation marks. Like it's all, and like that's the thing is people love the person who isn't aware of the thing that they're great at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why he's so likable on this album for me is that he's braggadocio, but not in a way where he's cognizant of the fact that he's doing it.
Right.
He's just doing it.
Yep.
I love that.
He was born to make this album.
Yeah. I definitely felt like I was getting a tour of New York like Scorsese did in Taxi Driver.
Boom. I love that.
Really good.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the whole song is quotable, but the other quote that I had on here was, I got so many rhymes, I don't think I'm too sane. Life is parallel to hell, but I must maintain. It's like, God, that's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah. Life is parallel to hell.
That just like, it works so well,
It's
dude.
unreal. It's like, it's one of those things I was trying to go off in on the Fleetwood Mac album. Like those lines existed.
Yeah.
He like chipped away to find those.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, even the wordplay of parallel to hell.
Yeah.
They're like
It's so simple.
the rhyme it works, and also when you look at it on paper, it's all parallel as well.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
So back when this album came out, the Source magazine was a really big deal.
Yep.
This was the first album in like the newer class of hip hop to get 5 mics.
Gotcha.
Which was a massive deal.
Yeah.
At the time. The Source turned into like you could buy your mics and shit like that. Kind of went to hell. Eminem exposed that actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, Ray Benzino took over the Source and people were buying mics.
I don't know him.
He was in a rap group called Mad Men.
No, the TV show?
Yeah, TV show's great.
Is Don Draper
They
in
weren't
that
very
group?
good, huh?
Was Don Draper in that group?
Don Draper.
He was the main
MC Don Draper.
Right.
Yeah.
MC Dripper.
MC Drip Drip.
He was Don Dripper. Because he was fucking dripping, bruh.
Yeah. Number 3. Let's go through this a little bit. Number 3, Life's a Bitch. That is featuring AZ. These two verses, AZ's first verse and Nas's second verse, these are historically 2 of the greatest verses in hip-hop history.
So
Visualizing the realism of life and actuality, fuck who's the baddest, a person's status depends on salary.
yeah, dude. I mean, the flow the entire time is so consistently good that it's almost like you stop recognizing if you're not consciously paying attention to it.
Right, yeah.
And so, like I said before, I wasn't sure who AZ was, but after sitting down and listening and reading along with that first track and like being blown away, and then they took him away from me at the beginning of this one, I was like, I like this guy, but bring Nas back.
Yeah.
I want more Nas
Sit
now.
down and read that verse.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy fucking
I
song.
also kind of felt like the beat on this one. So the producers were LES, and Nas helped produce it too.
Right.
The beat on this one, the bass line almost sounded like a Dr. Dre bass line.
Okay.
Very like it's like a organic bass sound.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the, not his second, maybe not even his third, somewhere in that area of third album, he started working with Dre.
Okay.
And they formed a group called The Firm. And that was
I've
Nas,
heard of that.
AZ, Foxy Brown, and Cormega.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the emphasized syllable rhyme play is like Plinko on this track.
Okay.
Because it all works.
Yeah.
But the place that they're rhyming, it's almost like it's changing so much, but somehow it still sounds coherent.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like that thing just bouncing around. You know what I mean? It's it's not like Humpty Dumpty hip hop. It's like they're fucking really doing some Shakespearean shit with their rhyme scheme.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely go listen to that song. It's probably maybe not the catchiest, but it's got a hook. You can sing along to it. You know, life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high. It's just a very classic sentiment in hip hop. I can't even say it like started with this song, but it definitely brought it to a different
it did it
level.
One of the best to do
because
it.
one of the things with this album is you got to think what came before it. There is some like real hip hop, like the traditional 90s real hip hop before it, but this was almost like a bridge from like say your Rakims and your KRS-Ones and your late 80s rap to what we now know as gangster rap. It was a perfect bridge between that, because in this album you still have the scratching, you still got just that like feel of, okay, I'm just rapping on my corner.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what like the roots of hip hop.
Yeah, and the production, I mean, like I said, I'm a production guy, but recognizing the work that was put into some of the samples on this and the building the song itself made me really respect DJ Premier on a deeper level. Like, I liked his beats before, and then all of a sudden I started recognizing what he was sampling, and I wasn't recognizing other shit. And so I was looking it up, and I was like, how the fuck did he pull that?
I know, right?
And it made me go, holy shit, this guy is unbelievably dedicated to his craft, to constantly be just going through record bin after record bin and just listening to things that he can sample.
Right.
And then also, this hit close to home for me, the dude's a fucking crate digger.
Oh my God.
I would love to see this dude's collection.
He's your favorite crate digger's favorite crate digger.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, he lives at a fucking shop.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I love that. That makes me respect him even more.
You look up hip hop in the dictionary and this is corny, I don't care. DJ Premier is going to be sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Track number 4.
World is yours.
I've heard this
a
gazillion times.
Of course. Yeah.
I was trying to look up where have I heard this, and it was like, good luck trying to pinpoint it.
Yeah, right.
I did realize that it was on the Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
At one point, so I heard it there at some point for sure.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so Pete Rock, producer, he has a tape warp built onto the beat, or specifically the piano sample for the beat.
Yeah.
So it gives it this kind of, you know how like tapes after a long time when they get aged, they don't play properly. Some parts they speed up a little bit, they slow down, and it sounds a little warped.
Yeah.
He put that on the piano sample. I don't know how he fucking did it, because it's on a record.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, but it's just like masterful production.
The Spotify recording was from a tape.
Yeah, it's a great track. It's fucking, I feel like everybody knows it as soon as they hear it, but maybe some people are like me and they don't recognize that it's from this album.
Yeah. Most of you go listen to this, you're going to be, oh yeah, Sam was right. Pete Rock. He's a fun artist to dig into.
Yeah.
He did a couple albums that are mostly just compilations. He did some rapping, rapping. He did some rapping. He did some,
Inner City Youth.
That young man did some rapping.
I was going to say, I feel like I remember him as a rapper, but there's a line in this song that fucking I loved so much, because he used a word that I would never think to use.
Okay.
Wipe the sweat off my dome, spit my phlegm on the street, suede Timbs on my feet, makes my cipher complete.
Hell yeah.
And he says feet. Also, phlegm.
Had to for the rhyme.
Phlegm. Spit my phlegm on the streets. As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, I love this. I don't care. He's just so creative, dude.
Yeah, he's it's just a sign of a great rapper. He's going to use whatever word.
Yeah.
And he has the vocabulary to be able to do that.
And just the wordplay of this 2-line piece by itself.
Right.
The end of that rhyme stanza is suede Timbs on my feet, makes my cipher complete, and that completed the cipher of what it's like, that's fucking it's so good, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Really impressive.
This song, so his next album, It Was Written, is where he really crossed over. Like, he went the way of his friend talking about money.
Yeah.
It's not a bad album. There's a couple really good tracks on there, and Lauryn Hill and the Fugees were really big at this time too. So he enlisted Lauryn Hill to be on If I Ruled the World.
Okay.
Which was a big song. I always kind of looked at this as like the prequel to it.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yep.
That doesn't really matter, but it's just like
it's
how
cool
I
old
see
nugget.
it. Yeah.
Yep. So track 5. And also, once again, halfway through the record, song's called Halftime.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Of course.
It's a 17-year-old kid. All he's doing is watching basketball and selling drugs.
God. So good, dude.
So this is Large Professor. And this beat...
Do I know this guy from somewhere else?
He's just, he's old school hip hop head, man. Right. This song is so fucking good. There's no hook. Doesn't need to be a fucking hook. He's just showing off. These are 3 verses of showing off.
My notes were taking the opportunity to have some fun and show off.
Mm-hmm.
And right like, towards the beginning of the song, he says, "I got it hemmed. Now you never get the mic back."
Yeah.
I was like, cool.
Yep.
He's about to fucking go off.
Oh
on
my
this
God.
shit.
Yeah.
And it's a fun song.
Yeah. He's talking about like how he used to be scared to kick his little raps.
Yep.
You know, and now in every jam, I'm the fucking man.
This is the one song
Beautiful
where like,
bravado rap.
and it's still understated. He's not in your face. He's not fucking. It's not obnoxious.
Right.
He's just proving it to you.
Yeah, right.
That's all
Like,
it
check
is.
this out.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Right. It's funny. That song is so good that there just isn't enough, like a lot to say about it.
Yeah,
like, just
right.
listen, vibe, read along with the lyrics. It's incredible.
It's definitely like a fun break. It's a halftime show.
It's a halftime show.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know, it's fucking. This thing has like multiple layers of incredible coordination.
Yeah.
From lyrical content to, you know, obviously the fucking pacing of the songs, but song names too. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yep. At 17.
Yeah. Crazy.
Next song is Memory Lane. And we touched on this a little bit earlier. This is a great song. 17, 18 years old. And he's been through enough to make a song called Memory Lane.
Yeah, for real. And the whole thing.
Like, how hard is it in Queensbridge? This guy's
seriously,
been through some shit.
I know. Is he 35 at 18?
I know.
He at one like, towards the beginning, he says, "I dropped out of Coolie High, gassed up by a crackhead cutie pie," and like that's so relatable. Not because not everyone dated a crackhead cutie pie, but like the girl who was a bad choice.
Yeah.
You know, like I dated an older girl that I skipped school with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yep. So like instantly when I heard that, I was like, I know what he's talking about.
Yep.
You know, and I'm a white kid from Maine, and I still feel like I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, this is super random, and probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but I don't really care. I've got my first piece of ass smoking blunts with hash. I was on hash first time I had sex.
Boom.
How crazy is that?
It's almost like it was written in the stars.
Kind of.
And
I planned it. I don't know.
I heard this was the right way to do this. Hold on. Let me just double check. Can you pass me my Walkman?
I had a Discman. Come on.
But once again, DJ Premier with the fucking samples on this
dude.
thing. So
Crazy.
Good. So good.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You should listen to some Gangstar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his group.
Right.
And Guru was a fantastic rapper. He's since passed. But Gangstar albums are fucking hip hop. They're just they so perfectly embody what hip hop should be.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I almost would like to try and find a collection of instrumentals.
Ooh, I bet you can.
Probably pretty easily.
Yeah. He's still kicking, man. He was just on a song with Run the Jewels.
He fucking did an interview with Tom Segura.
He did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It makes me want to go back and watch it and actually pay attention to it.
Now that you like have a good understanding, because this is some of his best work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously he saved a lot of his good stuff for his actual group on Gangstar, which is like why I say go check fucking Gangstar out.
Yeah.
But as far as like historical relevance and like what this album means to hip hop, like he really shines here.
Yeah, it's some incredible work from all the production or all the producers on it, but
right.
DJ Premier is fucking legendary.
One Love, got another legend on the beat.
Yep.
In Q-Tip.
Yeah, man.
If you don't know who Q-Tip is, he's not just Vibrant Thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's the fucking head guy, or was one of the head guys in A Tribe Called Quest.
Did he do some jail time?
Probably.
I feel like I remember at some point someone talking about some serious jail time he did.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But also, does he fucking, right at the beginning of this thing, is he sampling a fucking xylophone?
I think it might be.
What the fuck? And then like the rest of the beat kicks in and it's avant-garde jazz. Like what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
Where do these guys get these records? Who are they buying from? Who's recommend? Like, what? I don't understand any of this.
Have you ever really listened to a Tribe Called Quest album?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like on this, it's not what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So like I'm listening to it, and obviously I'm listening to like trying to hear what they're doing for instrumentation and trying to pick out what the samples are, and I'm like, is that a fucking xylophone, dude? Is he playing that xylophone, or did he find the right xylophone sample? He's like, I got a bunch of different xylophone samples. Let me find the right xylophone sample for
in
this
1994.
Right. Come on, man.
It's crazy.
Chill out.
But it's another one of those where this kid is 17, 18 years old, and he's penning a letter to his friend who's in jail, letting him know how it's going, and how it's hard out here, and
how quick
how it's bullshit you're in there,
and how quick shit moves when you're in there. Right. I mean, like,
yes,
that's like one thing I was definitely noticing from verse to verse is that like so much is happening, so much. The world is. It's almost like the fuck. As soon as you go to jail, the world pushes the gas pedal and everything moves in fast motion. Yeah, and it's sad.
And then he wraps it up with a verse. He's talking to a kid who's sitting on a bench. Kid's like 12, and he's just talking about. He's like this kid. This kid is a man.
Yeah.
This kid is grown up, and just how fast it goes from even that point, because he's seeing a lot of himself and his friend and this kid who's going down the same exact path.
Yep.
And at 17 fucking years old, to have the ability to put that situation into a song,
into perspective, even to be able to process it, let alone be present enough in the moment to be able to say it to somebody in like a profound way.
It's insane.
Yeah. But also, there would be no Stan without this song.
No, there really wouldn't. Nope.
The whole time I was like, I didn't realize someone did this before he did it.
Yeah. It's very, very true.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit.
Nas does not get enough credit. But Nas kind of did it to himself, too, because some of his later works, he went through a little spurt where it just wasn't... he could never live up to this album.
You can't.
It was a crossover, and I Am was a bit of a crossover. So once you start working like Puff Daddy and shit like that, and then you create the Firm, and the whole idea around the Firm was that you're like this like mafioso, like it was so drastic from just the real gritty Illmatic.
And the unfortunate thing
they never got back there.
He was young and he was easily influenced. So all these people above him that are already names in the game, of course he's going to listen to what they have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something I think it was on It Was Written. He wrote a few bars that dissed Biggie.
Okay.
Subtly, because Tupac heard it, and Tupac thought it was about him. So he dissed the shit out of Nas in a song. When Nas heard it, he admitted in an interview, he's like, it brought me to tears because I worship Tupac. So him and Tupac met up, and Tupac was like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put that on my album. Then Tupac died. So there is a fucking Nas diss on Hit 'Em Up.
Damn.
You ever heard that song? Yeah. Yeah, kind of crazy. But that's how much it brought him to tears. That Tupac,
he was. Him. At that age,
he's so young
in the mix.
Yeah.
With, like the heaviest hitters in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. There's another. You ever heard of Mobb Deep?
Yep.
They were from Queensbridge. Came out around the same time. They made an album when they were like 15, 16 years old, maybe even a little younger, at around the same time. And they actually had a long career. The infamous Mobb Deep. It's one of the best hip hop albums of all time. But yeah, it's just this Queensbridge was almost like a fucking breeding ground.
Yeah.
For this style of hip hop.
Right.
It's wild.
Is that in one of the boroughs of New York?
Yeah.
Is it? How come I've never heard of it since? How come it's not one of the?
I think it's gentrified now.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I drove through Queensbridge once. It was.
You were looking. You're like, "Where's Nas at?"
I mean, it was scary. I had no.
He wasn't lying.
I had no business being there. Yeah. It wasn't on purpose. We were.
I feel like it was on purpose.
we were trying to go to Shea Stadium to watch a Mets game.
Did you dress in like your coolest clothes and go down there to like try and like
I'm pretty sure I had a Red Sox jersey
run
on.
into one of these guys? Like, I didn't even think I'd see you here, dude. What's up, man? My name's Dave. I rap too, dude.
Yeah.
Track 8. One time for your mind.
One time.
So this one,
yeah, whatever.
It's just like it feels like I'm fucking listening to him freestyle.
Yep.
I'm I'm at the hang and they're freestyling with each other, and it's like it's light, it's fun, but it's impressive.
Right.
And it doesn't. For me, on my first listen, I was like, if I was actually there and that was happening, I would be looking around and like. It's almost like, are we hanging out with like the Picasso? Like, is this guy really good, or is it like I'm way off?
It's just like, is it just the moment? Like,
yeah,
what's happening
right.
here? Yeah.
And also, there's this thing that happens at the first verse where the beat, the tempo slows. It starts to like very subtly slow down, and then it just fucking snaps back in.
Okay.
And he doesn't fucking fall. It almost like you don't notice it until that snap back in. It's like he pulls you down with the beat, and he slows things down a little bit. It's very, very
That's
weird.
cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Number 9, Represent.
Yep.
Very similar.
Yeah.
To the previous one.
Fuck DJ Premier, dude.
I know, right?
Fuck him.
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ. The sample on this thing sounds like the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. I swore I thought it was that.
Yeah.
I listened to it a couple times and I'm like, if he fucking sampled a ballet,
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Did he?
Turns out it's even more obscure. He sampled a fucking score that a guy did for a silent movie from 1954.
Thief of Baghdad.
Yep, Lee Irwin. And the part that he sampled was a fucking connector interlude while they were fucking changing pieces of the set.
Oh, weird.
So like it wasn't even meant to be part of like the
Holy shit.
and he picked out that little piece and he goes, "That's cool." And so I'm like, I've never heard of this guy, Lee Irwin. I've never heard of the movie Thief of Baghdad.
Right.
How the fuck did he stumble upon? And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, this guy has an incredible appreciation for crate digging.
Wow.
And it blew my. I couldn't even find any copies of this on record.
Yeah, how?
I blew my mind.
I can't even
dude.
imagine the thought process to
It
get
blew
there.
my mind because it's not like he had access to the internet. It's not like he's just scrolling through shit. He's fingering through records and just picking shit out and listening to it, probably in its entirety, looking for something. And what crate was that in?
Right.
What fucking store are you at, dude?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. I feel like he probably has a warehouse full of records. I want to see it.
That's insane.
Yeah. But yeah,
I see, that's the type of stuff, no matter how many times I've heard this, I would never have caught on to that.
Next time you listen to that one, think about that thing as the Sugar Plum Fairies. It's the same fucking couple of notes in a row, and it's the same instrument that plays it.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I wish we could listen right now.
I know, dude, for real. But
Maybe
yeah,
someday.
the beat, I didn't even really pay attention to the lyrics on it because I got so enthralled with the other aspect of the song that I was just like blown away.
It's good. Nas goes a little hard on this one. His voice actually changes a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not angry, but just a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of I'm fucking Nas.
Yeah. I'm fucking
Fuck,
Nas.
I'm fucking Nas. Number 10 is probably my favorite song of all time.
Yeah.
I love this song.
No shit.
Yeah. It Ain't Hard to Tell. It's very similar to Halftime.
Yeah. Yeah.
No hook.
It's a fucking great cap on the record.
Yeah. The horns.
Horns are great.
There's an old I don't know if it's true. I've always heard it is that the horn sample is played by his father. I don't know if that's true or not.
So the sample is actually a Michael Jackson track.
Okay.
Human Nature.
Yeah.
And so like I recognized it and I was like, and the horns might not be from that, but the rest of the sample is from Human Nature.
Right.
And I was just like, God, this is a fun song.
Yeah.
And it's even fun that they sampled Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Especially then.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was still
right.
Very, very relevant.
Yeah, I mean, and he just dances around the beat. It's
him showing off again.
Yeah, it's a great cap on the record.
Yep.
Send it off.
It's
really good.
It's the best hip hop album of all time.
Like I can't. This is different for me because like hip hop for me is like a sitcom TV show.
Okay.
It's in the background. Okay. It's fucking catch a piece of it, have a good time. I can't put this on in the background and really even enjoy it because I need to be sitting down and appreciating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It like needs your full attention.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe at the time this was something that you could pop on at a party because this is what the atmosphere of hip hop looked like.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like this is so different. You really, for me, I would, if I was introduced to this in a setting around people, kind of ambient hearing it, I wouldn't be impressed by it. And then when I sit down and listen to it with headphones and I read along with it, I feel like it's a fucking Scorsese flick.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
It's fucking awesome. Again, I started by saying that I was worried about doing this album.
Yeah.
I was worried.
I was worried going into it. I was like, I'm going to have to fucking lie to Dave, which I like to do. I like to lie to anybody.
Nah, I wouldn't have wanted you to.
I wouldn't have lied.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You passed.
Yeah.
We can officially keep doing this show.
Can I fucking kick it one time, bro?
I would have said yes before you said that.
Yo, pass me the mic. No, just kidding. I don't want the mic. I'm giving the mic back to you.
Well, I'm glad that you took the time to appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
For real.
I'm happy that I finally, I'm glad it was my idea. I'm glad I was the one that chose to do it. And it just proves once again that I'm right. I should listen to my instincts more.
I mean, you were right on I'll give you the overall idea credit for Legacy Reviews.
You know what? Let me give you some hip hop recommendations, dude.
Yikes. Now, dude, that's the peak. Like, I'm probably going to do a lot more hip hop albums. It's going to
be hard to live up to that.
It's just,
yeah. You're
going to be like, yeah, but it's not Illmatic. And be like, yeah, that's my whole life.
Right.
That's my whole life.
That's why I'm angry all the time. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah. If you haven't heard it,
go listen to Illmatic.
Do it the right way.
You're not even a person if
do
you
it the
haven't.
right way.
Right. If you say, I love hip hop and I love rap, and you don't know what Illmatic is.
That you reminded me. I want to publicly say, I want to make a life retractment, correct the record.
Okay.
Historically, I said I liked hip hop. That was wrong. I just liked hip hop for the first time, and I realized all the other times that I listened to it, I was just enjoying it.
Haha.
I have a new understanding of what actually liking it means.
That is exactly what I wanted this album to
I know.
do for you.
and you were right. You were right. I'll give you that one. Enjoy it because it might never happen again.
How could it happen again?
It turns out next week you're like, listen, there's this obscure punk album from the 60s that I need you to listen to.
Oh, that's great. Go listen. Hey, we're on YouTube now.
Hey, you can search us on YouTube now.
You can search us on YouTube. You can find us. We're on the channel called Boot Camp Media. We will be recording someday.
Yeah, so probably sometime this year we will start the endeavor of doing the video side.
Right. So you can look at our ugly faces while we talk about this shit.
One of us is very, very handsome. The other one looks like how he sounds.
I'm a hideous monster.
There's a reason why he's on the radio.
So yeah, the company that runs us is Boot Camp Media.
Sound familiar?
And hey, Albania, what up?
Hey, what's up,
Thank
Albania?
you. Germany, Cambodia.
Yeah, there's a lot of international fans.
It's a little strange.
It's a lot of strange.
Yeah, like what are you guys doing?
I know. Hey, let us.
Us?
Yeah, shoot us a message, guys.
Yeah, for real.
Honestly, if 2 people from Albania send me a message, I will figure out how to say a paragraph in your language, and I will say it on the next episode.
Yes.
Boom.
Sam will do that. I won't.
So will Dave.
So yeah, Boot Camp Media, YouTube. We're obviously still on Apple, still on Spotify, but on the YouTube you can also find live stock videos for one of my side endeavors. I can teach people how to trade, stuff like that. And also, if you're into card breaks, there's a bunch of old card breaks. That is on an extended hiatus right now, but if you're into that type of stuff, it's on there. You can email us at musicperiodpodcast@gmail.com, or you can email us at bootcampmedia23@gmail.com.
And who knows, maybe you'll be able to stream us live one day.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's kind of, yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens.
We also have an Instagram. We also have a Twitter. Boot Camp Media and Music Period Podcast have a Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't. I don't have the internet. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. He does a lot, I tell you.
Listen, without me, this would be nothing.
But yeah, much appreciated. Thanks for joining us. And we will be back later on in the week with Sam's Legacy album.
All right, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye.